Admiral James Reynolds stood at the command center of Earth's orbital defense station Alpha, his weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of holographic displays. Everything had been quiet for the past 8 hours of his shift, just like any other day in humanity's space defense network. But that was about to change forever. "Sir, we're detecting multiple energy signatures at the edge of our solar system," reported Officer Tom Wilson, his fingers flying across the control panel. "They're massive, Admiral." Reynolds leaned forward, his steel-gray eyes narrowing as he studied the readings. In all his 30 years of service, he had never seen anything like this. The energy signatures were approaching at impossible speeds, far beyond anything Earth's current technology could achieve. "Get me a visual," he ordered, keeping his voice steady despite the growing unease in his gut. The main screen flickered to life, showing what looked like tears in the fabric of space itself. From these wounds in reality emerged ships, hundreds of them, their sleek hulls gleaming under the distant sunlight. "Send First Contact Protocol Alpha to all stations," Reynolds commanded. This was the moment humanity had been preparing for, but something felt wrong. The approaching fleet's formation wasn't exploratory, it was combat-ready. Before Earth's greeting message could even be transmitted, the lead alien ship fired. A brilliant beam of purple energy lanced through space, cutting through one of Earth's defensive satellites like it was made of paper. "Battle stations, this is not a drill." Reynolds' voice boomed through the station's communication system. "All personnel to combat positions. Get me the President." The next few minutes were chaos. Earth's orbital defense network, pride of human military achievement, fought back with everything they had. Railguns fired streams of hyper-accelerated projectiles. Missile pods emptied their payloads toward the invaders. Laser arrays painted the void with deadly beams of concentrated light. But it wasn't enough. The alien ship's shields absorbed or deflected most of their attacks, while their weapons tore through Earth's defenses with frightening ease. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the alien fleet," Wilson called out, his voice shaking. The main screen changed to show a creature that looked almost like a tall human, but with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to hold galaxies within them. When it spoke, its words were automatically translated by the station's eye. "Primitive species of Earth," the alien commander's voice rang with contempt. "We are the Dominion, enforcers of the Galactic Council's will. Your rapid technological advancement has been deemed a future threat to galactic stability. Submit to immediate occupation and technological restrictions, or face extinction." Reynolds clenched his fists. Humanity had dreamed of first contact for centuries, imagining a moment of wonder and shared discovery. Instead, they got this: an unprovoked attack by aliens who saw them as nothing more than a potential problem to be solved. "Wilson, send Emergency Code Phoenix to command," Reynolds ordered quietly, thinking of the secret he and a few others had carried for years. "Then evacuate the station. All hands to escape pods." "Sir." But the code. Wilson's eyes widened as he realized what it meant. "Just do it, son. There's more to Earth's defenses than these aliens know." As the station shuddered under another hit, Reynolds took one last look at the planet below. Beautiful, blue, and seemingly defenseless. But he knew better. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Colonel Mary Walker would be receiving his message, and Project Phoenix would be spinning up its engines. The aliens thought they had caught humanity unprepared. They thought Earth was primitive and defenseless. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. As Reynolds headed for his escape pod, a slight smile crossed his face. The Dominion had made a terrible mistake. They had given humanity something it had always excelled at, a reason to fight back. In the void of space, Earth's orbital defenses continued to fall, and the Dominion fleet pressed their advantage, confident in their superior technology and overwhelming numbers. But they didn't notice the subtle energy readings beginning to spike deep within Earth's crust, where humanity's real weapons waited. The real war was about to begin. Deep within the Rocky Mountains, Colonel Mary Walker watched multiple screens showing the destruction of Earth's orbital defenses. But unlike the millions watching in horror across the globe, she wasn't afraid. She was angry, and she was ready. "Status report," she commanded, her voice echoing through the massive underground chamber known as Project Phoenix. "All systems are green, Colonel," replied Major Jack Rogers from his station. "The emergency protocols are active, and all hidden bases are reporting in. The enemy still hasn't detected our facilities." Walker nodded, allowing herself a small smile. For 20 years, Project Phoenix had remained humanity's best-kept secret. After finding a crashed alien ship in the Arctic in 2040, Earth's governments had quietly worked together to reverse engineer its technology. But they hadn't just copied it. They had improved it. "Show me the fleet," she ordered. The main screen lit up, revealing rows upon rows of sleek black ships hidden in underwater bases, underground hangars, and even within the dark craters of the moon. Each vessel incorporated both alien technology and unique human innovations. They were smaller than the Dominion's massive warships, but they were far more dangerous than they looked. "Message from Admiral Reynolds received," announced the base AI. "Authorization code confirmed. Project Phoenix is now active." Walker pressed a button on her command console. "Attention all Phoenix personnel. This is the moment we've trained for. Humanity knew first contact might not be peaceful, so we prepared. Now it's time to show these aliens why you don't underestimate humans." Throughout the base, soldiers and pilots rushed to their positions. These weren't ordinary military personnel. They were the best of the best, chosen from every nation, and trained in secret for years to operate the hybrid human-alien technology. "Launch sequence initiating," Major Rogers reported. "All ships reporting ready. Quantum shields are charged, and dark matter weapons are primed." Walker watched as the massive underground hangar doors began to open. The first ship in line was the Phoenix 01, their flagship. Its black hull seemed to absorb light, covered in patterns that made the eyes want to slide away from it. Their first innovation in stealth technology. "The Dominion thinks they know everything about space warfare," Walker said to her crew. "They think their sensors can detect any ship, their shields can stop any weapon, and their weapons can destroy any target. They're wrong." On her screens, she could see the Dominion fleet spreading out above Earth, probably preparing for their occupation. They had stopped firing, likely believing their victory was complete. Their scans would show them only the wreckage of Earth's conventional defenses and a planet in chaos. "All ships, launch sequence complete," Rogers announced. "Ready on your command." Walker took a deep breath. This was the moment that would change everything. "Send the signal to all Phoenix bases worldwide. Launch all ships. Activation code. Humanity rises." The ground trembled as the first ships lifted off. Around the world, hidden bases activated. Hangar doors opened in remote mountain ranges. Underwater bases released their deadly cargo. Secret lunar facilities powered up their launch systems. The Dominion sensors would detect nothing until it was too late. Project Phoenix had developed quantum shielding that didn't just stop attacks. It bent space itself around their ships, making them virtually invisible until they were ready to strike. "Message from the President, Colonel," one of the officers called out. "She says to give them hell." Walker stood at her command station, watching as hundreds of Earth's secret ships rose from their hidden bases. Each one carried weapons the Dominion couldn't imagine. Dark matter cannons that could pierce any known shield, quantum torpedoes that could phase through solid matter, and targeting systems that used human intuition alongside AI precision. "Send a message to all Phoenix ships," Walker commanded. The Dominion wanted to see if humanity was ready for the galaxy. "Let's show them just how ready we are." Above the Earth, the Dominion fleet continued their victory celebration, unaware that humanity's real defense force was about to make its debut. The true battle for Earth was about to begin, and the aliens were about to learn a harsh lesson about underestimating the human spirit. Captain Robert Stone sat in the command chair of Phoenix 01, his heart pounding with anticipation. Around his ship, Hundreds of other Phoenix vessels moved into attack position, still completely invisible to the enemy sensors. The Dominion fleet floated above Earth, their ships arranged in a victory formation, completely unaware of what was about to hit them. "All ships in position," reported Lieutenant Pete Adams, his fingers dancing across the tactical display. "Quantum shields at full power, dark matter weapons hot." Stone nodded, his expression grim. "Send the signal to all ships. Attack pattern Delta. Remember your training. They won't expect our ships to move the way they do." The Phoenix fleet had one huge advantage. Their ships used human-modified alien tech that worked in ways the Dominion had never seen. While alien ships moved in predictable patterns, Phoenix vessels could perform impossible maneuvers thanks to their quantum drive engines. "Message from Colonel Walker," Adams announced. "She says, give them hell." Stone allowed himself a small smile. "Signal all ships. Deactivate stealth systems on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark." In an instant, hundreds of black ships materialized around the Dominion fleet. Before the aliens could react, the Phoenix fleet opened fire. Dark matter beams cut through alien shields like they weren't even there. Quantum torpedoes phased through hull plating before detonating inside enemy ships. "Enemy fleet is in chaos," Adams reported excitedly. "Their shields are useless against our weapons. They're trying to regroup, but they can't track our movements." Stone watched as Phoenix ships performed combat maneuvers that should have been impossible. They spun on impossible axes, accelerated in ways that ignored normal physics, and seemed to be in multiple places at once thanks to their quantum drive systems. "Incoming transmission from the Dominion flagship," the communications officer announced. "They're demanding to know who we are." "Put them on screen," Stone ordered. The alien commander appeared, his iridescent face now showing fear instead of arrogance. Stone smiled coldly. "This is Captain Robert Stone of Earth's Phoenix fleet. You should have checked if we had any hidden ships before you attacked us." The alien commander's eyes widened. "Impossible. Your species doesn't have this level of technology. These combat maneuvers defy known physics." "That's your problem," Stone replied. "You assume everyone thinks like you do. Humans, we think differently." Computer, end transmission. The battle continued to rage across Earth's orbit. Phoenix ships danced through space, their dark matter weapons tearing through the Dominion's supposedly superior technology. The aliens tried to fight back, but their weapons couldn't lock onto ships that could partially exist in multiple dimensions at once. "Sir," Adams called out, "the enemy fleet is trying to retreat. They're attempting to open jump portals." Stone leaned forward in his chair. "Not happening. All ships, execute Operation Cage. Don't let them escape to warn the others." The Phoenix fleet moved as one, their quantum drives creating a distortion field that prevented the Dominion ships from opening stable jump portals. Trapped in normal space, the alien fleet could only watch as Earth's secret weapons systematically took them apart. "Enemy ships are surrendering," Adams reported after another 10 minutes of battle. "We're receiving surrender signals from all remaining Dominion vessels." Stone nodded. "Signal Colonel Walker. Tell her Phase 1 is complete. The Dominion fleet has been defeated." He turned to his crew. "And send a message to all Phoenix ships. Well done, everyone. Earth is safe, and we just proved that humanity is nobody's easy target." As Stone looked at his tactical display, he couldn't help but feel proud. In just under an hour, Earth's hidden fleet had completely destroyed the myth of Dominion invincibility. But he knew this was just the beginning. The Galactic Council would soon learn about their defeat, and humanity's response to their unprovoked attack was far from over. "Set course for the rally point," he ordered. "We're going to show the galaxy exactly what happens when you pick a fight with humanity. And trust me, they're not going to like the lesson." The great chamber of the Galactic Council was in complete chaos. Representatives from 100 alien species were shouting and arguing, their voices echoing off the crystal walls. At the center of the chamber, The High Council members sat in their elevated seats, looking down at the emergency broadcast showing the total defeat of the Dominion fleet. "Impossible," shouted the Dominion's head representative, his iridescent skin now pale with fear. "These primitives couldn't have developed such technology. They must have had help." Elder Representative Thompson sat quietly in his observer's seat, hidden among the lesser species section. For 20 years, he had been humanity's secret watcher in the Council, placed here through careful planning and advanced disguise technology. Now it was time to reveal the truth. "Actually," Thompson said, standing up as his holographic disguise melted away, revealing his human features, "we didn't have any help at all." The chamber fell silent. Every alien eye turned to stare at him in shock. A human here in the council chamber. It was unprecedented. "Guards," the Dominion representative screamed. "Seize that primitive." Thompson smiled calmly. "I wouldn't do that if I were you, especially since Earth's Phoenix fleet is currently holding position just outside this system's defense perimeter." The chamber erupted again, this time in panic. The High Council leader, an ancient being with crystalline features, raised his hand for silence. "Explain yourself, human," he commanded. "Gladly," Thompson replied, walking to the center of the chamber. "For decades, Earth has had observers in the Council, watching and learning. We knew first contact would come eventually, and we wanted to be prepared. What we saw here didn't give us much hope for a peaceful meeting." He gestured to the screens showing the battle footage. The Dominion's attack was unprovoked. But instead of finding an easy target, they found something else, a humanity that was ready for them. "But the technology you used," one of the science representatives spoke up, "it defies known physics. Those maneuvers, those weapons, they shouldn't be possible." Thompson activated a handheld projector, showing schematics of the Phoenix ships. "That's because you all think the same way. You've shared technology and ideas for so long that you stopped looking for new approaches. Humans, we had to figure things out on our own. And we found different answers." The council members murmured as they studied the schematics. The High Council leader leaned forward. "You've achieved quantum phasing technology and practical dark matter manipulation." "How?" "Because we had to," Thompson answered simply. "Earth has faced countless challenges throughout its history. We've learned to think creatively, to find solutions where others see none. When we found that crashed ship in the Arctic, we didn't just copy its technology. We reimagined it." "This is outrageous," the Dominion representative shouted. "They're a threat to galactic stability. They must be contained." "I think," the High Council leader said slowly, "that the only threat to stability here was the Dominion's unprovoked attack." "Representative Thompson, what does Earth want?" Thompson straightened his shoulders. "Earth demands 3 things. First, the immediate removal of all Dominion military forces from Council leadership positions. Second, reparations for their unprovoked attack. And third," he paused, looking around the chamber, "Earth claims its rightful seat on the Council, not as a primitive species to be controlled, but as equals." The chamber was quiet for a long moment. Then the High Council leader spoke. "The Council will vote on these demands. But first, I believe we need to address the Dominion's actions. Their attack on Earth was unauthorized and violated our most basic laws." As the Council members began discussing the situation, Thompson allowed himself a small smile. The Dominion had wanted to prevent Earth from becoming a galactic power. Instead, their actions had just guaranteed it. Humanity wasn't just joining the galactic community. They were about to change it forever. Dr. Alice Cooper stood before the Council's Science Committee, her presentation screen showing detailed breakdowns of human technological development. The room was packed with the brightest scientific minds from across the galaxy, all eager to understand how humanity had achieved the impossible. "The key to understanding Earth's technological leap," she began, her voice clear and confident, "isn't in our resources or our tools. It's in how we think differently from everyone else." Behind her, the screen showed scenes from human history, wars, disasters, and challenges that had shaped human development. While the Council races developed their technology through peaceful sharing over thousands of years, humanity had to innovate under constant pressure. "But that makes no sense," interrupted one of the alien scientists, his tentacles waving in confusion. "Conflict and isolation should have slowed your development, not accelerated it." Alice smiled. "That's exactly the kind of thinking we're talking about. You see peaceful cooperation as the only path forward. We see challenges as opportunities to think differently." She switched the display to show the quantum engine designs. "Take our quantum drive technology. You all approached quantum mechanics from a mathematical perspective, trying to find perfect solutions. The screens changed to show Earth's different approach. We looked at it practically. Instead of trying to solve quantum uncertainty, we learned to use it. Our ships don't fight against quantum effects. They surf them, like riding a wave." The alien scientists murmured among themselves as they studied the designs. One of them, a crystalline being, spoke up. "But the energy requirements for such systems would be massive by your standards," Alice finished. "But that's because you're thinking about power generation the way you always have. We found another way." She brought up the schematics for Earth's power systems. "We don't just harvest dark matter energy. We learned to sing to it." Sing to it. The confusion in the room was palpable. "A metaphor," Alice explained. "We discovered that dark matter responds to specific energy patterns, like music. By creating the right song, we can make it dance to our tune. It's not elegant by your standards, but it works." The head of the science committee leaned forward. "And your weapons? The ones that bypassed our strongest shields?" Alice nodded. "Same principle. Your shields are designed to block energy and matter. But our weapons don't just fire energy or matter. They fire possibilities. The quantum torpedoes exist in multiple states until they hit their target. Your shields can't block something that isn't fully real until impact." She paused, looking around the room. "But here's the real difference between us. Every time you faced a problem, you looked for the most elegant, efficient solution. Humans, we try everything until something works. We make mistakes, we learn from them, and we keep pushing forward." The screens behind her showed the development of Project Phoenix, from the first recovered alien ship to their current fleet. "When we found that crashed ship, we didn't just study it. We questioned everything about it. Why make ships this way? What if we tried something different? What if we combined technologies that weren't meant to go together?" "That's dangerous," one of the scientists exclaimed. "The risk of catastrophic failure." "Exactly," Alice smiled. "We're willing to take risks, to try things that might fail, to think in ways that others consider impossible or insane. That's humanity's real advantage." She switched to the final display, showing Earth's new position in the galaxy. "We didn't develop in isolation because we wanted to. We did it because we had to. And in doing so, we found new paths that nobody else had explored." The room was quiet as the alien scientists processed this information. Finally, the committee head spoke. "So what you're saying is—" "What I'm saying," Alice finished, "is that humanity doesn't just bring new technology to the Council. We bring new ways of thinking, new approaches to old problems, and most importantly, we bring the willingness to try the impossible." As the committee members discussed among themselves, Alice knew they were beginning to understand. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their weapons or their ships. It was their ability to think differently, to challenge the established ways, and to turn their greatest challenges into their greatest advantages. Captain Robert Stone stood on the bridge of Phoenix 01, watching as the combined fleet of Earth and Allied Council races approached the Dominion homeworld. After their defeat at Earth, the Dominion had retreated to their core systems, gathering their remaining forces for one last stand. "Status report," Stone commanded, his eyes fixed on the tactical display. "Dominion fleet detected ahead, sir," Lieutenant Adams reported. They've positioned their remaining ships in a defensive formation around their capital planet. Count shows 800 vessels. Stone nodded. The Phoenix fleet had grown since their first battle, now numbering 500 ships. Additionally, 200 vessels from other council races had joined them, their crews eager to learn humanity's innovative combat techniques. Message from our allies, the communications officer announced. The Blue Star Federation ships are in position. The Crystal Collective fleet is ready. They're waiting for our signal. Send to all ships, Stone ordered. Begin Operation Endgame. Remember, we're not here for revenge. We're here to end a threat to galactic peace. The fleet moved forward, their formation reflecting humanity's unique approach to space combat. While traditional alien fleets arranged themselves in rigid patterns, the Earth ships flowed like water, constantly shifting and changing positions. Dominion ships are powering up weapons, Adams reported. They've adapted some of their shields based on our last encounter. They're trying to counter our quantum weapons. Stone smiled. That's the problem with the Dominion. They always think they know what's coming next. Launch the new drones. Thousands of small, unmanned craft poured from the Earth ship's launch bays. These weren't ordinary drones. They were equipped with miniaturized versions of Earth's quantum drives, making them nearly impossible to track or hit. Drones are engaging enemy targeting systems, Adams announced. Dominion fleet is firing, but their shots are going wild. They can't get a lock. Signal the Allied ships, Stone commanded. Begin Phase 2. The alien allies moved into position, their weapons complementing Earth's technology in ways the Dominion hadn't predicted. Crystal Collective ships fired energy beams that the drones redirected using quantum fields, turning the Dominion's own defensive screens into targeting arrays. Enemy fleet is in chaos, Adams reported with satisfaction. Their new shields aren't designed to handle attacks from multiple quantum states at once. They're starting to fail. Stone watched as the carefully planned battle unfolded. The Dominion had expected another head-on assault like at Earth. Instead, they faced something entirely new. A combination of human innovation and alien technology working in ways they'd never imagined. Sir, detecting energy buildup in the enemy flagship, Adams suddenly called out. They're trying to activate some kind of superweapon. Just as we expected, Stone replied calmly. Signal all ships. Execute Pattern Omega. The Phoenix fleet moved as one, their quantum drives synchronizing in a way that should have been impossible. The space around the Dominion fleet began to warp and twist as hundreds of quantum fields overlapped. The Dominion superweapon is firing, Adams shouted. But the massive energy beam never reached its target. Instead, it bent and curved through the distorted space, eventually looping back toward the Dominion fleet itself. Their own shields, designed to block external attacks, couldn't stop their own weapon firing from what their systems registered as inside their defensive perimeter. Multiple explosions in the enemy fleet, Adams reported. Their command and control systems are down. We're receiving surrender signals from individual ship captains. Stone nodded solemnly. Send to all ships. Accept their surrender. Prepare boarding parties. He turned to his crew. The Dominion didn't just lose because we had better technology. They lost because they couldn't imagine any way of fighting except their own. That was their real weakness. As the combined fleet moved in to secure the Dominion vessels, Stone knew this victory would change the galaxy forever. Humanity had proven that progress comes not just from cooperation, but from being willing to question everything and try new approaches. The Dominion's fall marked the end of an era of rigid thinking and the beginning of something new, a galaxy where innovation and different perspectives were valued above tradition and power. 1 month after the Dominion's surrender, the Great Chamber of the Galactic Council looked very different. The raised platform where Dominion representatives once sat now held a new delegation, the representatives from Earth. Admiral James Reynolds, now Earth's chief representative, stood at the podium addressing the assembled species. The galaxy stands at a crossroads. Reynolds began, his voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. The old way of doing things, of forcing unity through power, died with the Dominion's defeat. Now we must build something better. Around the chamber, representatives from hundreds of species listened intently. Many of them wore the new quantum communicators developed by Earth, devices that translated speech perfectly by understanding intent rather than just words. Humanity doesn't want to replace the Dominion as the galaxy's military power, Reynolds continued. Instead, we offer something different, a chance to learn from each other, to combine our different ways of thinking to solve problems none of us could solve alone. Colonel Mary Walker, standing beside him, activated a holographic display showing the new Galactic Defense Initiative. Project Phoenix taught us something important, she added. The best defense isn't the strongest weapon or the biggest fleet. It's the ability to think differently and work together. The display showed ships of various designs, some human, some alien, and some that combined elements of both. Already, our joint engineering teams have developed new technologies that neither of us could have created alone. The Crystal Collective's energy manipulation, combined with our quantum physics. The Blue Star Federation's biological computers working with our AI systems. Dr. Alice Cooper stepped forward next, her excitement visible as she discussed the scientific implications. In just 1 month of open cooperation, we've made more progress than either of us made in years of working separately. Every species thinks differently, approaches problems differently. That's not a weakness. It's our greatest strength. The High Council leader, who had supported Earth's admission to the Council, nodded in agreement. The Dominion believed that differences were dangerous, that everyone needed to follow the same path. They were wrong. It is our differences that make us stronger. Captain Robert Stone, now commander of the Joint Defense Fleet, presented the next part of Earth's proposal. We're establishing new training centers where species can learn from each other, not just about technology or combat, but about different ways of thinking, different approaches to problems. The Dominion fell because they couldn't imagine new possibilities. We won't make that mistake. The chamber erupted in approving sounds from various species as Stone showed footage of human and alien crews training together, learning each other's methods and combining them in new ways. Reynolds took the podium again. But perhaps the most important change is this: no more hidden observers, no more secret preparations for war. From now on, we face our challenges together, openly and honestly. He gestured to the former Dominion worlds, now under joint administration. Their people are free to choose their own path now. Many have already joined the new exchange programs, eager to learn new ways of thinking after centuries of rigid control. The galaxy is entering a new age, Reynolds concluded. Not one ruled by fear or power, but one where every species, no matter how different, has something valuable to contribute. Earth didn't just join the galactic community. We helped transform it. As the council chamber filled with sounds of approval, Reynolds looked around at his fellow humans. Walker, who had kept Project Phoenix ready all those years. Cooper, whose scientific insights had revolutionized galactic technology. Stone, who had led the fleet to victory not through superior firepower, but through innovative thinking. They had done more than just defend Earth. They had shown the galaxy a new way forward, one where differences were celebrated, not feared, where innovation came from combining different perspectives, not forcing everyone to think the same way. As the council session ended and representatives from various species approached to discuss new joint projects, Reynolds smiled. The Dominion had attacked Earth fearing they would become too powerful. Instead, they had helped create something far more powerful than any single species, a galaxy united not by force, but by the strength of its diversity.